Hey guys, Kevpert here. Welcome to episode 1 of my 3v3 analysis series. Today we're doing an in-depth 3v3 analysis of my team with Drake, Values, and I, playing against some top players in Karma, on Jemima, and Grant. Now these guys are regularly top 100 in some of the ranking boards, so you'll see a lot of good play today. Now I've gotten a lot of requests for 3v3s, and so I thought I'd use some of the replays that my team's been looking over and analyzing the last week to improve our play. In this series, we're going to focus strictly on positioning, so there'll be a lot of talk about spacing and rotation. Now, I'm really highly inspired by the high-level analyses that Vogan's put up. That's Vogan from the Flying Dutchman that were in the RLCS Grand Finals. So we'll see a lot of the same principles he talks about explained here. Now, if you really want to seriously take your 3v3 game to the next level, I'll put a few links to All-Star 4's excellent positioning tutorials and Vogan's analyses in the description. Highly recommend you watch those either before or right after this to supplement what you learned here. So, long intro out of the way, let's get started. We'll analyze this replay from my team's perspective. Let's go to Flycam. Okay, so it looks like Drake's got this kickoff. I cheat here. Okay, and there is our first positional error of the game. So you can see we give up offensive pressure here. So what Drake's done wrong here is he's turned too early. So I've attacked this ball. Values is in a great position here. He's in a good support role off the right. So if the ball comes in this whole area, Values has that covered. Drake should be rotating here. So he could step to any clear that goes this way, and then he could clear it back into their half. We'll see how that plays out. Now we have to recover because Drake is unable to hit this ball because he's just turned too early here, right? And the spacing is too tight on that side of the pitch. Okay, I'm not terrifically pleased with Drake's recovery here. Looks like he sees Values go to net, so he doesn't really want to fill in behind. He goes and attacks this ball. But all stemmed from that early error from Drake. Okay, so when Values actually clears this, I'm working back. I actually get bumped, or I bump Grant there. So now I'm not in a good position to support. All right, so this is good rotation right here. Good rotation, good defensive rotation. You'll see it right here. Drake picks this ball up. Values is going to go to net. I'm going to be in a support position. All right, now Values is going to be stepping up to mid. Drake's going to be aggressing and putting pressure as the ball goes into the corner, and then I'm going to be in a support position. You'll see that there. So Drake goes for this hit. I should be scoring that, really, and Values is actually late. So we'll try to explain why Values is late, and you can see that right there. He goes for that boost. And this is going to be a recurring theme in this video. Going for corner boosts when you're trying to create offensive pressure kills the spacing of the team. Basically prevents you from creating offensive pressure. So Values going for this. You'll see him spin off to that. He doesn't actually get it because I think he realizes that it's poor positioning, that he needs to be here already. And so by the time I hit this, really he should be over here already. And although he probably wouldn't have gone for that, he would have been in better position. And he would have been probably able to get this next ball. Drake should be rotating in behind. I'm all the way in net, so I should be rotating all the way back behind Drake. But yeah, you could see how we just give up offensive pressure there. All right, so this is me intersecting this rotation. So Drake goes for that boost. And now there's a spacing issue between Values and Drake. Drake's not in a good position to support. So I realize this. I'm going to intersect this. I usually recommend against intersecting, but there are times that it works, and it works here. So I'm able to get a little closer here. Not that close, because I realize it's late. Right? I see Drake's going there. Preferably, I'd rather Drake just grab a couple of boost pads here and be in a position to get this next hit. Now I'm booking it, trying to cover ground. It doesn't happen, and now Drake has to make this weird turn. Right? Now he's defending the corner to defend the inside, so he clears it back at them, which is not great. All right. So let's just let this play through here. All right, I rotate to net. Value's going to rotate in behind. That's fine. Drake having to make a really weird block attempt here. Low percentage. because of his poor positioning earlier. But then he rotates the net, and give him props for that. His rotation net frees up Values. So Values now feels like he's able to step out to this. You'll see me grab that boost and then book it to the net. Now Drake's not been following the play. That's why he turns back and Values has no support. So either this is a communication error. I should just say, Drake, you go support. I've got net, and then he should be able to support this play. So when Values is dribbling, and this is true for all push dribbles, whenever a player's dribbling, the support guy wants to be slightly to the side and really close. So if there is a 50-50 challenge and the ball gets killed, the next player can take over the dribble, or this player can pass the ball and the next player can take the dribble. Now there's no support because Drake's turned backwards and he's gone towards net, whereas I'm already there. So this is very poor play. Now we throw the ball away. I guarantee you, if Drake was in a better position, let's just fix this camera. So Value's taking this out. I'm rotating to net. If Drake stays with this play, and he's here right now, right around here, he should be able to jump and hit this ball. Ooh, okay, let's just zoom out. Alright, as such, having to get back into defensive rotation. Alright, not the best clear. I don't have support on this one. That's fine. Value's going for this. Not a fan of this, both players going for the aerial. So this is, Value's making the mistake here of missing this aerial. He should just rotate to net. So he should rotate all the way around. Rotate in behind me. Alright, Drake with a nice hit. Luckily, Value's lands in the perfect position, and we're able to get this goal. And this is a huge misplay from Orange's perspective, so I think it's worth actually looking from their perspective. So, it actually, watch Grant here. This is what happens. He goes for that corner boost. I guarantee you he's going to be late to get whatever hit he's trying to go for next. Because he's so far back, look at their spacing issue. You have Anjumama all the way up there, Karma in supposedly a support position. All right, he's going to go for this hit. Anjumama going backwards, so Anjumama's going to recover. And you see Grant. Let's just watch Grant here. So Grant grabs that boost, messes up the spacing, now is booking it to get upfield. Right, extremely late to do anything there. So now Grant realizes, okay, I got to back up. Anjumama with a nice hit. Karma in a great support position, and then Grant turns. This is really undisciplined movement from him. You can see the problems it caused, right? Why is he turned here? If Grant does the smart thing, he caused the goal here. Oh, he should just rotate to here. All right, this ball comes in. He could just jump at this at speed and then hit this. Maybe get a goal, maybe get a chance, right? Just clear it into their half. Instead, he turns because he's not trusting his teammates, or he's not aware of his teammates, more like. And then he turns left, and then he has to turn left again and try to attack this. Very poor positioning. It's what allows us to get the goal. So you'll see Grant do that a lot. That's probably his weakest thing. He goes for that corner boost all the time. If you get corner boost and the ball goes in the opponent's half, and you're trying to create offensive pressure, I guarantee you will lose offensive pressure sooner than later. Okay, so now looking at this from my perspective, or our team's perspective. So I get the kickoff. I'm going to grab this boost, and then I'm going to quickly rotate. I get there in time, so that's fine. Drake should be rotating here. Great. That frees me up to get in a support position. Very similar situations to earlier. Now we have me in a support position off the dribble. So if this comes inside, then I should easily get this next hit. It goes outside, and Anjumama is in a better position. So Anjumama gets that. Okay, let's see what's going on here. So that's very poor positioning from my part. All right, so once this play happens, Drake goes for the next hit. Grant passes it backwards. So Drake should, lands properly. So Drake should be the guy aggressing here. Values should be in support. I should be in mid. Instead, Values confuses me here because he goes for this boost. No, he just turns. Sorry, that's a different play I'm thinking about. So Values turns and is in great position for support. And I feel like I think I rationalized it as I need to intersect because Values has dropped off so far. And so I make this play without really letting Values know. Values feels like he should slow down, maybe drop into mid, but really this is my role. I should be in mid right now, in behind Values. So had I been mid right here, I would have easily hit this next hit, or at least challenged, or maybe Values could have challenged. Anyway, now our spacing is terrible. Drake's all the way back. You know, I'm in this corner. And now I'm not able to get this next hit. It's all connected, guys. Alright, so we're just going to play this through. Right, I'm not able to get this next hit. Values does something really, really well here. And he does proper rotation. He's very disciplined. Best player positionally on our team for sure. So he does something that looks very simple, but requires some willpower, I should say. A lot of players in this position, here Values, a lot of players like to linger in this area. Completely mess up the rotation of the team. They feel like they can get a nice touch, you know, chase the ball a bit, whatever. Values rotates immediately. As he gets beyond the ball, he rotates to mid. Drake gets his next hit, and then magically, Values is in a perfect position to shoot in an open net. Okay, he misses the shot, but that rotation was perfect from Values. All right, you can see me. I realize I'm a little too late on this turn. I shouldn't have flipped again, but now we're in defensive rotation. Now you can see Drake making a huge misplay that should have resulted in a goal for Orange here. You see Drake cutting across the field, going for a boost. That messes up the rotation. Remember, the rotation we use is very basic. Kevpert to the front post. Drake right in behind. Right? Then Values in behind. Kevpert steps out, etc., etc. Just a big circle. Drake has all these boost pads in the middle of the pitch. He can grab about 30 boost. He doesn't need to fall this play into the corner. He goes in right here, and then that allows me to step out. So had Drake been there, as soon as this ball dropped, I would have been stepping out. And then Drake would have been at the back post, making an easy save there. Instead, Drake goes to the corner. They get a shot. If they had hit that back post area, they would have been automatic goal. It would have been unsavable. Okay. And Drake's still making some positional errors here. He goes for a pass here. So he should be rotating in behind Values. Let Values be the support guy. Values is already in a great position. Now Values like, yeah, okay, I see what Drake's doing. So Values feels like he's slow down. So that messes up Values. Or Drake is too far up for a pass right now. Really, Drake wants to be. If you're going for a pass, you really need to be in like this kind of area so that whenever the pass comes in, you can bend your run and attack this ball. That's a lot easier than asking for a perfect pass that hits the front hood of your car, as in this. And I hit like a really good pass. He's just right underneath it. Like he should be further back. Really, Values should be here, and then Drake should be back here. And Values would have been in a great position to get this pass off and get the shot. All right, so Drake's been doing the wrong rotation for a while now. Now he's done really good rotation here. Grabs the boost. Okay. You know, I realize danger, so I go to net. Drake's going to fill in behind me. I tell Values to just go for that. All right, now misplay from Orange. Big one. Another huge misplay from Orange, but we get out. And now, all of a sudden, we have a open net goal. It's worth explaining from Orange, because this is all Orange. This is very little part we played in this. Like, we had good rotation here. This is where the issue occurred originally. Maybe we can go as far back as this. Yeah, Grant. Okay, Grant always does this. He goes for corner boosts. He ruins the rotation of the team. All right? You see how Karma is intersecting this rotation? She's cutting across. Oh, no, she decides against it. But Grant is just late to this ball. You see that? You see how late Grant is? Because Grant gets this back boost. Not in a position to tackle this. Had Grant, you know, gotten this boost, maybe this boost, and been in this position, easily been in this position right now, would have been able to step to this next hit. Instead goes super late, gets launched in the corner. Right now, Grant is doing some weird wall play. This very low percentage. Karma not in a position to receive a pass. He's either trying to shoot or hit the backboard. This is overly difficult and occupies him for too long, in my opinion. That is. I know Grant pulls out of this, but this is 100% Grant not thinking a play ahead. if this is Aunt Jemima's ball, Aunt Jemima's in great position for this. Aunt Jemima goes up, hits this off the backboard. Grant rotates out into this position, would get the second ball and maybe get a shot. Instead, they lose offensive pressure, so we recognize that and we step out. Grant goes for this hit. Aunt Jemima now making the misplay for their team. This is a terrible play. Remember how I talked about values not lingering in the box? Aunt Jemima does the exact opposite. Watch Aunt Jemima here. And this ruins it for their team. Aunt Jemima is completely responsible for the goal here. Like, I understand that people want to do like little cute redirects, but there is no point here. You have two keepers, probably onrushing. You see Grant is flipped and is occupied. So that accomplishes nothing. It's not like Karma is going to step out and like, you know, take the biggest risk and try to go for a shot. Karma actually has steps in here to do damage control because she knows that Aunt Jemima's in the air, Grant is beyond the play, beyond the ball, on the other side of the ball, and Karma is trying to get to this ball to just stop the play. You can see that it results in a goal, all because Aunt Jemima refused to rotate and Grant refused to rotate earlier than that. So Grant refuses to rotate here. Then Aunt Jemima lingers, refuses to rotate. If Aunt Jemima rotates here, would have been totally fine when this play comes out. Like, that accomplishes nothing. All right, and as such, I get to just walk this into the net. So 2 mistakes, shots 5 and 1 in our favor. So our offensive pressure is not great, but we got 2 breakaway goals. Our defensive rotation is pretty good, I would say so far. Okay, so you can see here on the dribble, Drake's in a good position. So as soon as Values signals to me that he's rotating, I should be in that position. Remember, I say on a dribble, you should be really close. So I should be in this area, and I should be booking it forward so that I can get the secondary hit. There's that secondary hit. I would have been closer had I moved a little faster. But that's forgivable. We're trying to do the right things. We're just a little slow in executing them. As I said, it's only our first week really working together on this kind of thing. All right, so you see Values rotating. Beautiful rotation. This is terrible play. Yeah, it's really bad. You can see, why is Drake bumped Values? And this is quite obvious because Drake doesn't trust Values to hit this. As I said, Values is really good positionally. And I understand that, we haven't been playing all that long together. But if Values has rotated properly, then this is 100% Values ball. And you just trust your teammate. Right? Drake should be falling in behind Values. I'm doing the same. Instead, Drake decides to go for this ball. He ruins the rotation of the team. This is not his ball to collect. This is Values. And then Drake should be getting in a support position. Instead, Drake bumps Values. Now we've given up any chance of getting offensive pressure. Drake, right. They both arrive at the goal at the same time because they're out of sync. I saw Drake actually flip towards the boost here. So Drake just needs to slow down here. Once I get this hit, don't go for that boost. I know it just got taken, but just slow down. All right, as soon as this play comes in, you should be going to net. Right, you should be just rotating into the front. Values will arrive behind you. And then only one person would go and attack that. Instead, we have 2 players going to attack that. That occupies both of them. Not the best. So as such, I get this port clear. Goes right back. Okay, these guys are going to rotate. They arrive at the same time, which is a problem. Same aerial. 2 aerials at the same time. Now it's just awkward. So that one bump, right, there was a chance there. So that one bump cost us big time. Cost us like 20 seconds of defensive play. So let's talk about what happened here. Oh, Karma's really late there. Let's talk about this from Orange's perspective because I think, yep, okay, she just backs off way too far. So let's see what goes on here. So I'm not sure what Grant is trying to accomplish from this redirect. That really, Karma has a better chance of scoring. It's like a montage play. Okay, so Karma's flipped to get that boost and is too far to support this. So Grant is there, and then Karma's too far to do anything. Yeah, at least Aunt Jemima gets rotated. Okay. Now let's look at this from our perspective again. So this happens. Drake arrives into net. That's fine. Drake's going to rush in here. Valley should really be rotating. Realizes that. That's fine. Drake rotates in behind. So we're defending this properly. And you can see me rotate in behind them. So that's good defensive rotation. Looks like Drake's low on boost. So I intersect the rotation and get in a support position. Now Drake, who's gone for boost, right? He knows he's in the back. So he should be just slowing down, getting to this position, supporting the play from the mid. Right? Drake is way too far up at this point. So what ends up happening is, and it's worth talking about what I did here because my positioning is not that great either. So this is a good spot to talk about our roles in the team. So we had the aggressor values. Then we have me. We say this is the support guy. So as support guy, I usually get in this sort of position. So the ball gets crossed, centered around here on the right side of the goal. I can attack that area. Right? From a deep position, that's very, very possible. If the ball gets cleared along this way, along this wall, then I can just turn out and recenter. Now the mid guy, who should be right here, if the ball gets centered and it comes on this side, the support guy will just rotate out, and the mid guy will attack this ball on the left side. And if it gets cleared to the left side, the mid guy will just come across and recenter. And then other players will rotate off of that. It becomes very obvious what to do. So Drake should be mid guy. He's too far up. I get bumped upfield, mainly because of my poor positioning. I should be slowing down. I shouldn't be that close and to the side. Right. Basically, what I've done here with my positioning means I can attack anything that comes in here, but anything that gets cleared along this way, I will not be able to clear. So that's why Drake is all the way on this side. As you can see, when we should have had offensive pressure in their corner, we give up the ball really cheaply. All right, Drake again intersecting the rotation, not trusting me this time, because I have a plan clearly. You can see that I remember telling values to hit this ball, and then I'm getting the second ball because I'm in a good support position. Drake should be rotating all the way back. This is not Drake's ball. Drake ruins the rotation. Now we have too many players in the opponent's box. Look at that, 3 players in the opponent's box. We've given up offensive pressure. Drake, again, cutting across the field. So whenever you're cutting across the field in the opponent's half, that's pretty much a good indication that you're making the wrong move. So you see him. He should be rotating here at this point. I'm in a good support position, right? Had he been here, he would have been able to hit this ball, and we would have had some attacking pressure. Instead, now we're in defensive rotation. Okay, I get the clear. Now we have no support. Values gets in a not the best position, I would say. So here at this point, Values should be here. Drake should be here. When this ball gets centered, this is Value's ball. All right, might not be what he wants, but Drake should be deeper, right? Now you see how they're both in line. That causes an issue because the ball gets cleared in behind. I mean, that's an easy save, but still you're going backwards in a recovery position when you really should be facing it, able to clear. So had the proper rotation occurred here. Value's inside a little more. Drake holding his position. He needs to hold his position. He tends to wander upfield too much as a mid. Causes the goal. Now that's a mechanical error, you could say that, but really you should be facing the ball clearing it. Moving on to the next kickoff. Okay, so the ball spills out to the side. You'll see Drake rotate into net. You'll see myself rotating behind them. Frees up them to go attack the ball. All right, so Drake's lingered for a pass, and I'm okay with that. Value's occupied. Drake is asking for the ball to be put in there. It doesn't happen, right? So I'm in a great support position. Now I'm anticipating this play. Drake needs to leave this ball and rotate out. Instead, he decides to hit this ball. That's him, again, not trusting us to be in the right position and to get the hit. You can see I have a plan. This ball's going to bounce off the ground. I'm going to hit it while it's in the air, hit it into the corner off the backboard, and whoever's next in the rotation could score or create a chance, right? Drake's not trusting that, and we give away possession needlessly, and not surprisingly, they score. See how that works? Right? Now we have no keeper. I mean, Drake really shouldn't be rushing out of net there. But It's a goal's a goal. Completely preventable, as was the first goal. So now it's 2-2. Now we're letting them get back in the game. We've had 6 shots to their 3, but really it should be 2-0 right now. Okay, Drake with a nice sweeping save. Drake should step to this. Value's in your post. Okay. Feel like I can't win that next hit. Value's not really trusting me on this one, so we're having some trust issues in the last couple minutes. Value's on the wall. This is an easy clear for me. Instead, now we have 2 players flying. You're going to see my spacing is going to get messed up because I'm still falling. Now we're not able to get proper support on this next hit. This is nice defensive rotation from us. So as the ball comes across, instead of Values cutting across the field, which I said is an indication of poor positioning, Values is going to go to net, and then I'm going to come across. See how that works? And then Drake is going to fill in behind. That's really nice rotation. All right, I get the hit. Now Values should be the support guy, as he's on the left. Drake's got to hold. Drake is too far up. This is the same situation that happened earlier. Drake's got to be here. Now, I would not be surprised if they cleared over Drake's head. All right, Values fortunately gets a hit there. But Drake just needs to hold. If he's going to be mid guy, he's got to hold. Or if he's going to step and be support, then he's got to let Values know, so Values can just cut into here and be mid. But if you intersect, you're taking a big risk. And if you're going to intersect, you got to communicate that. So intersecting the rotation here really messes up the team here. Right? Cleared over our heads, giving up offensive pressure needlessly. We haven't been able to create any offensive pressure as of yet. Really. Our 2 goals were off counterattacks. Okay, again, not happy with Drake's positioning here. So you can see Values comes out. I'm going to get in the support position here. Drake's got to be in behind me. All right, Drake is off. I feel like he's uncomfortable with the turn I made here, where I go in deep, and he feels like he has to be the closer guy. But I think my position is all right here. It's okay. It's not the best. I'm a little far from the ball, but he doesn't need to intersect this, right? If he intersects, he's got to communicate that with me. Ideally, he should be right here. So when this, right, that should have been a chance for us. So when this ball comes in, I get this next hit. Had Drake rotated to here, and he's seen that I had an uncontested shot opportunity. I'm probably going to go for a pass here. He should be right here. He should be rushing forward, right? And Values will be rotating behind. And then he would have been in position to at least dunk Karma and just get a hit. And that would have been a chance. Instead, now we're going backwards, giving up unnecessary pressure. So Drake's been rather undisciplined in terms of attacking rotation, and it's been costing us offensive pressure. I understand that we scored 2 goals from, good defensive rotations and counterattacks, but that's something that we'll definitely need to improve. Okay. So this is going to be the goal here that ends the game. And that shot was completely uncontested, so let's figure out why that was. And what happened here was, it was poor rotation here, and it's actually Values' fault. So Drake has the right idea. Now Drake is pretty good on defensive rotation. So as this ball comes across, I'm in net, and I know it's going to hit the wall. Drake is in behind. Values intersects the rotation. He messes this up. So whereas in an optimal situation, Drake would have been there, Values would have been rotating behind, Drake would be following this play out, being a support guy. I would hit this ball, Drake would be here already. Let's figure this out. Drake would be right here. And as this ball hits the wall, he would attack this ball. Instead, what happens, and pay attention here, guys, it's pretty important. Values intersects, stops Drake from going. Drake's stuck in net, Values turns that way, and they get an uncontested shot in the mid. Drake could have stepped to that. Again, intersecting, causing issues there. So that's the game. I hope you guys learned a lot. Let's go to AutoCam here. So that's, it's still our first week playing as a team together, and we've been studying these replays to improve our positioning, rotation especially, and decision making. So you see a lot of us trying to do the right things, but still executing them really slowly. Like for example, some of us are going for boosts in the back, and then we'll turn and decide not to go for that, etc., etc. Those are just bad habits that we're trying to correct. But anyway, so some of the big points are, you saw this on both sides, especially with Grant on orange, and how grabbing boost capsule in the back mess up rotation, and how for us intersecting rotation causes a lot of issues with us. I think intersecting rotation worked out once for us and probably worked against us 5 times. It just confuses the guy in the back. So if you're going to intersect a rotation, you've got to communicate that a lot better. Now, when the rotation's smooth, we play really well. When one player messes up a rotation, we have major issues. And in terms of attacking, it results in the loss of offensive pressure and having to defend for the next 20 seconds. So I think you guys would probably have learned a lot about positioning here. I have a lot more videos coming up in terms of threes. But for the next step, watch the links in my description. I'll put AllStar4's and Vogan's videos in there. And watch this video with your teammates. And use the same framework for analyses as I did. Ask yourself questions like, why did my teammates step up here? Or why am I late to the ball? You can usually go back 10-15 seconds and whenever you do your own replay analyses, and you can figure out what went wrong. So I recommend loading up the same replay with teammates, sharing that through Rocket League replays or whatever. And then talk together on Discord and analyze the play together. And it makes a huge difference. So that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. I know it's a long one, so if you stuck with it, you guys are the best. Have a good one, guys.